Welcome to today's episode of Amma's Stride, and our story today is titled Mama's Garden. This is a Children's Day story of growth, dreams, and togetherness. The early morning sun filtered softly through the dusty Hamilton air of Onitsha, casting its golden rays on the rusty zinc rooftops and chirping children already bustling on the street. But at the very end of Sam Ezofia Street, behind an old wooden fence, stood a humble bungalow with a garden that seemed to bloom with magic. Inside lived Mama Adaora, a quiet woman in her mid-30s, with warm eyes and a heart as deep as the river Niger. She had once been a teacher, once had dreams to write books, to travel, to become more. But all that shifted the day her husband died in a car accident, leaving her with two children, a 10-year-old Adora and her 6-year-old Sumto. For a while, silence filled their home. Grief was a shadow that touched every corner, but Mama Dora, in her pain, had picked up a hoe and turned the backyard into a garden, not just for food, but for peace. Tomatoes, okra, scent leaf, and even sunflowers. Each plant grew with intention. It wasn't long before children from the neighborhood, curious and playful, began sneaking peeks through the fence. Some came to help water the plants, others came for story time under the mango tree. Over time, the garden became a place where kids came to escape the noise of their homes, to be heard, to learn, to even dream. Mama Adora welcomed them all. Girls with tangled hair and heavy hearts, boys who rarely smiled. Every day after school, the garden became alive with laughter and quiet lessons about kindness, strength, and the courage to grow. One of the children, Zubi, had a stutter and always avoided speaking. Uju had a habit of hitting others when frustrated. But Mama Dora never shouted. She listened, and somehow in her soft presence, their healing began. But it wasn't easy. Some parents whispered, questioning her motives. Others mocked. She should find real work, not only playing teacher under a mango tree. Still, she pressed on and on. Her own daughter Adora struggled too. She was bright but withdrawn. Every time she tried to speak in public, her voice failed her. One day, while planting new sunflower seeds, Adora asked, Mama, do you think I will be brave enough to speak in front of people? Mama Adora paused. She looked at the soft earth and then at her daughter. Adora, even the sunflowers turned to face the sun. Maybe bravery is not about being loud. Maybe it's about standing tall and turning towards the light again and again. Children's Day approached, and the local school planned a celebration. The headmistress invited every child to participate in a showcase. Adora was chosen to give a short speech. She wanted to refuse, but then she remembered her mother's words. That week, Mama Dora turned their backyard into a rehearsal ground. Every child took part. Zubi recited a poem. Uju painted a picture. Sumto led a song, and Adora practiced her speech until her voice trembled less. On the day of the event, in front of a crowd, Adaora stood, clutching her paper in her hand. My name is Adaora. I used to be afraid, but my mama says fear is like a weed. If you keep watering your dreams, the weed won't matter. Today, I want to be a sunflower. I want to turn to the light. There was silence, then applause, and tears rolled down, not just from the crowd, but from Mama Dora. Her daughter had finally found her voice, and all the other children beamed with pride. The garden grew fuller after that day, not just with plants, but with purpose. Mama Dora started documenting every child's progress. She worked with the local women's group to hold weekend classes on creativity and mental health, even for the mothers. She began doing what she once dreamt of: writing stories, teaching, growing a community. All these while nurturing her own healing. The story of Mama's garden spread, not because of grandeur, but because of quiet impact in the society. It became a place where children, both boys and girls, learned to believe, where mothers found strength, where love, peace, and unity blossomed in between the okra and the sunflowers. And so, on that Children's Day, as the sun dipped low and the garden glowed in the warm orange light, the children danced around Mama Dora and sang. In Mama's garden we all grow. Through tears and laughter we all know that strength is gentle, love is wide, and we are safe with her as a guide. Mama Adora smiled. She was still healing, still growing, but she had learned this much. Healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet tending of a garden, the reaching hand of a child, the whisper of a girl finally speaking her truth. And in that, there was hope for every child and every mother. Thank you for listening to this episode. Please subscribe, like, and share. And we hope to see you on the next episode. Bye.